Welcome to the Core Worlds SoloPlay playthrough by Solo Boarding. We are going to cover the full game, including galactic orders, and we are going to just play through the whole game and give you an idea of whether you would like this SoloPlay variant endgame or not. Now, this is an overview of the play area. We're including the Galactic Orders event cards, which will be over here, where these are the sector decks from Sector 1 to Sector 5. These are the Galactic Order cards from the Merchant Alliance, the Mining Coalition, the Order of Knighthood, the Science Guild, the Mystic Brotherhood, and the Galactic Senate. These all give you advantages if you put order tokens on them and remove them to activate their actions. This is my empire, including my faction deck and the war zone, which will contain my worlds, my units, and my advancements. This is the Sector 0 deck, which we will be drafting cards from to spice up our beginning faction deck. This is the AI player board, which we will be tallying energy tokens that they've taken on. This is my player board, where I will be tallying my actions and my energy. This is the center of the universe. This is the AI position, and this is my position. And we will shortly be going down to a tabletop view to get a better view of things. But this is the overview, and this is my little token plate of tokens. So let's get down to business. First, we'll be drafting from the Sector 0 deck. The Sector 0 deck is a deck of mostly unit cards that we can add to our otherwise mostly not different from the others faction deck to spice it up. Now the faction decks, as you can see here, only differ in the hero that they feature. Otherwise, they're the same: Galactic Grunt, Snub Fighters, some Energy Surges, and a few other tactics cards. So let's get down to business. I've already shuffled this up. So we are going to draw 4 cards. And let me give them to you to take a look at. So we have the retired Flying Ace, a starfighter hero, so he counts as both a starfighter and a hero. During an invasion, you may spend one of your faction tokens at the Galactic Senate to add +3 strength to retired Flying Ace. So he's also 2 fleet strength, but he costs 2 to deploy. So not a bad choice at all. The Salvage Battle Hulk. When deploying Battle Hulk, you may discard any number of cards from your hand to reduce the cost by 1 energy for each card you discard. So this costs 4 for 3 fleet, so that's also pretty good. The fact that you can reduce the cost is pretty nice as well. So here is the refitted freighter. During an invasion, you may spend up to 2 energy, increase the freighter's fleet strength by +1 for every energy you spend. So this can be boosted. This will actually become much more useful later in the game than the Space Hulk, which is than the Hulk, because that is going to only really be useful in the early game. So this is actually better, and also you can see that it's also the ship that's used on the Core Worlds cover, so that's cute. Then there's the Beast Rider. You may deploy Beast Rider for -1 energy if there are no infantry units in your war zone. So 2 deployment cost, 2 ground strength. That's good too. Yeah, this is a tough decision. This is a tough decision to make. Anything that the AI gets, by the way, will also count towards their empire points or victory points for their hopefully not eventual victory over us. So, for instance, if they got one of the cards that one of the planets core world that says that you get +1 point for every star cruiser, if they got this, that would be +1 point for them. So the AI cards, even if it drafts cards that have 0 cost, they can end up helping it in the end. So I think it's between the retired flying ace and the star cruiser. I'm going to go for the retired flying ace because he's a hero as well as a starfighter, and because he's a hero, he doesn't count towards the army size when we're doing energy, when we're in the energy phase and counting up our army size to determine maintenance costs and energy for them. So I'm going to choose him. We're going to shuffle up the cards. Remaining cards, the AI gets 2 off the bat. So the AI gets the Space Hulk. And unfortunately, the AI also gets the Freighter. So we are stuck with the Beast Rider. That's okay. We can deal with it. Beside the universe board, I'm going to be keeping the AI's cards here. I may be putting some of my cards, army cards, here as well because it's going to get crowded down this side. But and I'm going to fan out the AI's world cards here so that we can see how much energy they produce, so we can evaluate the effectiveness of our energy surge cards. So we're going to use these in our deck now. When we are replacing cards in our deck with these new cards, we can only replace galactic grunts and starfighters. Because one of these is infantry and one of these is a starfighter / hero, we're going to replace 1 snub fighter and 1 infantry unit, 1 galactic grunts with them. So let's add them in along with Prince Aaron. Hope he enjoys his new mates. And we'll shuffle that up and then start building the universe next. So I've dealt myself 6 cards from my shuffled deck. We have the Beast Rider, which is nice. So that means we'll have some ground strength. We've got an energy surge, so that will give us extra energy, although only 1 energy, since our starting world has 3 energy provided. So let's build the universe now. So we're in sector 1. So, and this is the first building of the universe in this game, so we're going to use these setup positions. We're going to have 1 world, 1 non-world, 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 world, and world. So let's see what we can do here. So we've got 3 starfighters. That gives us 3 fleet strength if we can get them deployed to our war zone. We've got infantry at 3 infantry, so we've got the energy surge. So now that we've finished the galactic phase, we've already done the draw phase. So now we're going to go to the energy phase. So this is our empire. We've got 3 energy produced by Agamemnon, with the option of producing more energy if we wanted to by 1 time discarding 2 cards to reveal to get 1 energy. Also, at the beginning of our draw phase, if the number of worlds we have is greater than the number of units in play, we draw a card, which is true here, so we draw an extra card. And we get tight formation. So let's consider our options for worlds and cards that we want to draft. So here we've got our universe. If we locate the card with the most VPs, it's this one with 1 VP, and that requires 3 ground strength. So that's definitely something we might be able to manage. So yes, we will be able to manage it by deploying the Beast Rider and then deploying the grunts. And we deploy the Beast Rider first because it's -1 energy if we have no infantry, and we won't have any infantry if we deploy them first. So the thing to remember about deployment is that when you do such a thing, that the AI is going to immediately take a world that's within reach of 5 spaces if you deploy units. And we're going to basically sacrifice this world to the AI, because it's got no victory points. And anyways, it doesn't even have a special power, so that's no big loss. So I'm going to tally up 3 energy and push up to 4 actions as it is in the first sector. I am going to play an energy surge card. During the energy phase, if at least one player's worlds generate more energy than yours, generate 2 energy, otherwise generate 1 energy. And the AI has no worlds yet, so we definitely are producing more energy, so we just get 1 extra energy. So we're at 4 energy now. Okay, considering our cards here, let's see. Okay, I have a plan, but I doubt that I can execute it all in one go. What I'm going to do now is consider the cards that I might want to draft. For instance, I probably want to draft this Herald. When you draft a card from the central zone, you may discard Herald from your war zone and spend 1 of your faction tokens in the Galactic Senate to place a drafted card into your hand directly, which is nice, but also it's got the Galactic Senate token. It's got the Galactic Senate icon on it, and if you recall, our Starfighter hero uses Galactic Senate tokens, so every time we play this, we'd get a Galactic Senate token, which would be useful for both this ability and for our retired flying ace. So that would be nice. We can probably get it, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to deploy, then have the AI move us both to that planet, and then take the card with the draft action. So let's do that. So we've got 4 energy. So what we're going to do is we're going to deploy 2 units together. So we're going to deploy the Beast Rider, and it's only 1 energy, and it costs 1 action, so we're down to 3 actions at this point. We also deploy the Galactic Grunts. That costs 1 energy and also 1 action. So we're going to be down on actions pretty soon. Yeah, we aren't going to have enough energy to, well, we aren't going to have enough energy to do all the things we want to do. But we can do enough of the things, I think, that will be satisfying. So we've played our Grunts and Beast Rider. That gives us a total of 3. And now the AI is going to react. The AI reacts to deploying units by moving and taking the first world within 5 spaces clockwise of it. So the first world within 5 spaces clockwise is this kind of unpronounceable name. Yeah, I can't pronounce that name. So what it does is that it moves into the space of the world it's taking over. Because we're on the AI, we can choose to ride along with the AI, which we do choose because it brings us 1 space closer to Ceres Prime. So the AI takes this world into its tableau. We just edge it up there. So now the AI produces essentially 1 energy for the purposes of energy surges. So we have a choice here. We can either take the Herald and possibly not take Ceres Prime this turn, or we can take Ceres Prime and produce 4 energy next turn. The Herald is very, very nice. And so is the prospect of producing 1 more energy. Plus, if we do go here, we'll be pulled into the space, and next turn we can pick up the Sentinel, which isn't a Galactic Senate icon, but it's useful anyways because it is a starfighter and it provides 2 fleet strength here. So let's go ahead with a plan to take stuff. So I've decided not to take an energy loan right now. So we're going to have to spend 1 energy to move there. So we're down to 1 energy and 2 actions, which is good because we want to zero out either our energy or our actions, because if we zero out one of those, then the AI won't take an extra turn. Okay. So we need, in order to invade, and we've got the ground strength to do it, we need to spend 1 energy and 1 action to do it, which zeroes out our energy. So we successfully invade it, we move to that space, and we add the world to our tableau, or aka our war zone. Now, because we've spent units to take over this world, we have to discard them. So this is the Galactic Grunts and the Beast Rider. We can choose, however, to garrison one of these units that was spent in the battle on Ceres Prime in order to remove it from our deck. So we're going to do exactly that. We're going to choose the Galactic Grunts to garrison Ceres Prime. We place Ceres Prime right next to our little empire. And we're off to a good start because we've got 1 VP and the AI has none. Now, when we conquer or invade a world, the AI has a reaction. Now, what the AI would usually do is it would search for within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces for a tactics card and draft it. However, there's no tactics card. So the only thing for it to do is to move up to 5 spaces. It must move at least 1 space, and it must land on an empty space. So what would be tactically, this will be tactically cute, possibly. So I'm just going to move it 1 space over. Actually, 2 spaces, 2 spaces over to an empty space. Because what I'm going to do next turn is I'm going to take this unit. And then the AI will proceed to take this unit. Now the question is, why don't I move the AI here, so when I take that unit, the AI searches and it can't find any units? Well, the problem is that if I do that, the AI is going to take that world. And because this will be next turn, there will be an energy token on that world. And the AI will score 1 point if it does that. So we're going to leave the AI here and move on to the next round. So I'm going to move the token to the next part of the sector. So we still have 4 actions, no energy right now. And we're going to refill the universe. Now we refill from the first empty clockwise position from the AIs. And remember, we don't refill positions orthogonally adjacent to the player token. So we're going to, unless the player token is on top of the AI. So let's go ahead and fill the world with more Sector 1 cards. So we've got, Osiris. Maybe I really should have moved this. Maybe I really should have moved him. It's hard to say. So Osiris ends up there and it looks pretty juicy. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. Oh, actually, what we should have done is that we should have placed energy tokens on the cards that remain from the first round. So we put energy tokens on these 4 people and go on from there. So we need 1 more card to fill out to 6. We don't put it here because it would be adjacent to the player. And it is Yggdrasil. You may draft cards with a Science Guild icon from the central zone at a cost of -1 energy, which is fine. So it goes there. So now we must contemplate the new board. And actually what we do here, what we should have done is discard our hand and chosen and drawn a new pile of 6. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's our draw phase. We have no units in play, so we're going to draw an extra card. Grunts, Coordinated Assault, Prince Aeron, and the Retired Flying Ace, and the Snub Fighter, and the Energy Surge. So now we're going to go into the energy phase. So we have 4 energy and 4 actions. So where does that leave us with? What does this world with 1 victory point need? So it needs 1 fleet and 2 ground. Can we produce that? We've got 1 ground, 2 ground. We should definitely have, yes, we definitely have the fleet strength for it. So we have enough ground and fleet for 3, and we have 1 for drafting. Do we have an energy surge? Yes, we do have an energy surge. So we will play this energy surge to boost us up to 5 energy. So let's consider what is going on here. So I want to take this. This will give us an extra energy. So we'll be fairly safe. So what I want to do is I'll draft this. This will move down. Ooh, it'll probably take this card with the energy token on it because I'm drafting this. And then it'll take this world because I was foolish enough to not consider that a more valuable world would come out here within reach of the AI. So let's consider now what to do about this interesting situation. I don't like this, sir. I do not like this at all. So I'm thinking what we may want to do is that we may want to draft multiple units. So what I probably want to do is I want to draft here, go there, draft that. So we'll get our Herald anyways. The AI will move. The AI will take this, and then we can move it past here, and then we can possibly take this world or take this world on the next turn. Anyways, we don't want to give the AI any points. I've learned the hard way that giving the AI any leeway is a bad idea. It's already going to collect cards with energy tokens on it that will give it victory points. So let's just not tempt fate. So we're going to do exactly that. We are going to spend 1 action and 1 energy for the draft cost here to take this card. Now it has an energy token on it, so we gain that energy right back. So now we've got the Sentinel, and we put it into our discard pile. So considering what the AI does now, the AI will go and take the closest unit card within 5 spaces, which is the Hubris Missile Crawler. It collects a token, so we mark that on its board. So it's collected an energy token, and it collects this Hubris Missile Crawler into its space. So what we are going to do now is we're going to execute my plan for not allowing the AI to take this world. So what we're going to do is we're going to move for 1 energy. We're going to move here. We're going to spend another energy to draft this card. So that's 1 energy and 1 action to draft the card. We get the energy token, so that gives us 1 energy right back. And we put the Herald into our discard pile. The AI immediately reacts by trying to find another unit card. It can't, so it'll take the first card with an energy token. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 within 5 spaces. It finds it. It takes it. It gets a victory point for the energy token. And it places it in its world, in its empire. Okay. Things are tough all over. Now, if we deploy units, the AI is going to take Yggdrasil, which isn't too much of a concern because Yggdrasil has no victory points, even though it has possibly a nice ability on it. So we're just going to go ahead and deploy our units at this point. We can only deploy 2 because we've got 2 actions left. So we won't be able to take Osiris this turn, but possibly next turn. And hey, who knows? Possibly there's more juicy stuff next turn. And we may overlook Osiris for those. So let's consider what units we want to play. We probably want to play Prince Aaron and a grunt and a couple grunts at the very least. And I'm going to retain the flying ace in my hand for next turn. You can reserve 1 card in your hand when you discard cards. So let's do that. So I'm going to play Prince Aaron for 2. So that's 1 action and 2 energy. I'm going to play the Galactic Grunts for 1 action and 1 energy, and that zeroes me out entirely. Actually, what I'm going to do instead of the grunts, I'm going to play the retired flying ace because that uses up my energy entirely. So no energy, no actions left. The AI does not take its extra turn. And we're going to discard these cards and go on from there. And the AI reacts by taking the Yggdrasil in response to our deployment. So now Yggdrasil goes into its display. And I just noticed that I should have moved my player token up here because I drafted a card here. So when you draft or invade a world, you get pulled into where it was. So this is the final state of affairs before we move on to Sector 2.